Hi, my name's Ethan Lawrence.
This is Jesse Leach from Killswitch Engage.
Hi, I'm Scotty Wartu.
Hi, my name's Sean Smith.
Hi, my name is Desha Kiva.
This is Ryan McCombs from the band Soil.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is the Raging Cajun Lash Baruch.
Hello, everybody. This is Michael Doret. I'm a graphic designer. I live in Pasadena, California, but today I am in the UK, being visited by Tom and Jamie, and we are watching now the Chronicles of Podcast. So take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, this week we bring you an incredibly talented guest, a man unlike any guest we've had before. This week's guest has created some of the most recognisable imagery of the last few decades, working with sports teams, rock bands, title treatments for a very iconic mouse, and much more. This week's guest is here to tell us all about growing up in Alphabet City, as we bring you the Chronicles of Michael Doret.
Oh,
there it is.
Without any hesitation.
I'm here to sell books.
Yeah, perfect. And we will definitely get to books, but I want to bring it back a little bit first. How's your personal Monday treating you so far?
Well, this is a holiday here in the U.S. It's Labor Day.
Yes, it is.
And so everybody's away. Everything's closed. So and it's hot out, so I think I'm just going to stay here.
Nice. Is there like some sort of special celebration for Labor Day or no?
Well, people just do whatever. They travel to visit relatives, or they have barbecues, or it's really what it is. It's marking the end of summer, basically.
Okay.
We start with Memorial Day, marking the beginning, and then we end with Labor Day.
So the only thing I know about Labor Day is apparently you're not supposed to wear white after it or something. I don't know. I'm a naive Brit. I don't know.
Well, none of us are following that, I see.
So the way we like to start these things, so is we like to take it right back to the beginning, to your childhood, the days of young Master Doret. What did you want to be when you were growing up? Has it always been art for you, or did it start out on a completely different journey altogether?
It was always between art and astronomy.
Wow.
I thought perhaps that I might, as a child, the Palomar Observatory, which is out here in California, was the largest telescope in the world. And I had dreams of maybe even just starting out sweeping the floors at the Palomar Observatory. I was just so enamored of it. But I was also into art, and I love to draw. And so it was always some sort of, combination of the two. I tend to, I was thinking about what is it about those two disciplines that is similar, and for me, I think it's geometry, because if you look at my work, there's a lot of geometry at play there, and of course, with the movements of the planets and the stars and all that, there's lots of mathematics and geometry at work there too. So maybe there's some sort of connection there that I gravitate towards.
Just not all drawings of stars and planets and moons and black holes and all that sort of stuff.
But when I was a kid, I saved up my meager allowance for months, and I bought myself a telescope, a little kind of a telescope that I had a filter for looking at the sun, so I would look at the sun, and I would draw the sunspots, and I actually could see the rings of Saturn and craters on the moon. So for a kid, I was just so enthralled by all that. But I was drawing these things too, so I was just combining the art and astronomy even then.
That's amazing. Where does that love for art come from? Is like that part of the family, or is it just you started doodling one day?
I don't know. My dad was a writer, kind of like a frustrated writer, because he was in the position he had to support his family, and it was, as any artist can attest, it's unless you're like at the very, very top of your game, it's hard to make a living as a creative person.
Yeah.
So he took a job working at MGM Films as a kind of a translator, but writing was always his first love. And maybe I got a little bit of a creative bug from him. I don't know. Some things will forever be a mystery.
But at what point did you then go from like, I love this, I'm enjoying drawing, to go, I want to do this for a career? Like, what was that point for you?
Well, no, it doesn't really work that way. Like when you're a kid, you don't think about so much a career. Well, nobody thought you could have a career in art. It was kind of like going to school. Art was like a thing that was fun to do, but if you were serious, you would, maybe you'd be thinking about a career as a lawyer or a doctor or, something like that. Art was not like, oh, you're gonna be an artist. You're not gonna make any money. That's not a career. But I didn't know. But I soon found out that, with various teachers that I had, especially going into high school, that you're good and you should consider moving in this direction. And it was my art teacher in high school that really set me on a good road, and encouragement was major. And he had me apply to Cooper Union, which is the preeminent art school in New York. And my parents had thought that I was going to be go to law school, and they had a meeting with him, and he convinced them that no, this is where Michael should be going, should be studying art, and he was right.
Well, lo and behold, look where you are now. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, you never know, I guess.
But did growing up in New York like shape your artistic style and approach to design at all?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my surroundings, everybody takes in things and processes them differently, for some strange reason. And I was taking in a lot of the environment of New York, but I would always be focusing on things that were graphics.
Yeah.
The side of the ice cream truck that would come around in the summertime with a beautiful painted ice cream pop on it. I would just obsess about these things and focus on them. And I grew up in an area near Coney Island in Brooklyn, which maybe is, I think maybe the closest thing might be Brighton in England.
Okay.
To something like that, an amusement area. And I was just there, you're just bombarded with all these kind of like colorful graphics and sights and smells. And it was just like, for a kid, it was just amazing. But I somehow focused on a lot of the signage, the colors, the bright colors. It was, but I didn't really know that until I was well into my career. And I found a photograph that my dad had taken of my brother and me in Coney Island, in front of all these signs and buildings and rides. And then suddenly I realized, oh my God, that's where my work comes from. comes from that kind of very kind of gaudy, very American way of treating graphics. And my dad worked in Manhattan at MGM above the Lowe's State Theater in Times Square. And so sometimes I would get an early day at school and I would take the train into Manhattan and New York. And I'd come up from the subway in Times Square, and there you were just completely bombarded by incredible graphics. There would be Mr. Peanut walking around in front of the Planters Peanut Shop, and he'd be giving away bags of peanuts. And then you'd look up, and there was the Camel cigarette billboard, where it was just it was always changing who was the main character in these, but it was always blowing smoke out into the street, or it was probably steam. But it was like, as a kid, you were like, what, like that, and that was another huge influence on pulling me into that world of graphics. And of course, the third thing was growing up in Brooklyn. You couldn't escape the baseball teams there, and there was the Brooklyn Dodgers, and that was in the 1950s, and that was the graphics around that, and the excitement around all that was just kind of irresistible. So those were the kinds of things that were kind of pushing me, although I didn't know it at the time. I had no idea that these things were like working on my brain.
Yeah.
Until they all came out much later when I was creating my own graphics, and they just kind of like, and even I was going years without realizing where that was all coming from.
It's almost like subliminal messages, almost like it was just whispering at you, like, Michael, over here.
Exactly.
It's amazing. Exactly. That's one thing. Like, it's always fascinating about me about New York. I've always wanted to go there because you hear so many people say that this city just influences you. Like, there's interviews of Stan Lee, and he's like, I'm looking out my window and I'm going to draw Spider-Man shooting across there, and it just like, it really seems to influence artists in this way. I'm not that mindset. I can't describe, but you hear it so much about the city.
It's the energy, and I imagine London could be like that, or any of the great big cities around the world, Paris, Tokyo, so on. And each city has its own distinct personality. Yeah, and so that's where I come from, even though I'm out here in LA right now.
Absolutely, and it's like you're saying, like, New York City is this big, bold place, and it really does show in your art. It's that big, colorful, dynamic, and it stands out. And now you've said all that about you growing up and seeing all stuff, it makes 100% sense. It really does.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Can you talk? I'm assuming it's going to be different for different projects, but can you talk us through your typical creative process for a piece of your work? Like, what, from concept to the final design? Is it starting on paper and then moving to digital? How does it all start?
Well, when it's at the beginning, of course, it never didn't go to digital because there was no digital. So because I've been straddling, I started out, everything was pencil and paper and pen and ink and acetate and vellum and all these materials and drafting equipment. Now it's I still start out the same way, pencil and paper, but the finish goes much quicker because of digital technology, which was I loved when it came out. Although I was not an early adopter because I was not convinced, but once I did, I would never want to go back. This is just too difficult, dealing with pens that would clog all the time, or it was just kind of a little messy. But I usually start out a project by questioning the client. Why did they approach me? What is it about my work that they were attracted to? Are they, sometimes I get calls because somebody told a client, you should call this guy, and they're not even familiar with my work. So I have to go through this process of trying to understand why they want what I do, because what I do is very specific, and it has a very specific look to it that sometimes surprises people. That they didn't expect. But I like to question them about what it is they're looking for. What have they seen of mine that maybe they thought that this could work for them, or a piece by somebody else, or what is it that they want? What are they trying to communicate? And you have to go through a lot of these questions just to even formulate whether you're appropriate for the job, or whether you should maybe recommend somebody else, or to give me a good direction of where I want to take this thing. So there's a early questioning period, but then I move into doing little thumbnails, which are just little doodles almost, that I'm just kind of like feeling things out as to where I might take this job. And I maybe do like a ton of these little drawings, and then I'll maybe see something in a couple of them that I want to like amplify. So it's almost like you're going through different these different drawings. They're on tracing paper, so you can lay you have a little drawing, then you lay a piece of tracing paper over that, and then maybe you make it you kind of refine it a little bit, and then you put another over that, and then you refine that a little more. It's almost like you're taking a piece of wood and carving into it, and just getting tighter and tighter as you go until you reach the point where you find the thing that you wanted to create. I don't know. Is that clear at all, or?
Absolutely. I love that wood analogy. I was really getting invested into that then. But no, it makes absolute sense. That's the one thing that because I was looking at like your stuff, and it's like a lot of them, there's loads of different concepts that you've come up with, and I'm like, where are you getting these ideas from? What made you go triangle shape for this one? It's like that sort of thing. That's what always fascinates me.
Well, and that I would try to describe as something that's you can't define. There's it's kind of like things that pop into your head that I can't tell you why they did. It's just kind of the way my particular brain works, and why I might try a triangle here, or I look at a sequence of letters and think, what do these letters have in common? What can I play off of here? It's very intuitive, but very hard to describe how that all might work. So it's like people might tell me, why do you give away your secrets? Of how you do things, because I kind of go through that in the book. But that's not what makes my work what it is. It's that something that comes from I don't know where, that it's not. People think it's the process of how you do something. So they'll study like Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator, and they think if they have that down well, they can produce great art. But the great art, it's just like if I hand you a brush and paint and a palette. That's what having a computer is. You still have to have your own ideas and be able to put them down on paper. And it just doesn't come out of the computer is just a tool. So I'm kind of rambling here. Where was I going with this?
No, I get it. It's that mindset. You know, it's just because the tools are in front of you doesn't mean that you know what you're going to do with them. You've got to have that right mindset. I completely get it.
Yeah.
But you talked about giving away secrets, but it's like, but surely you'd want to pass that knowledge on. Surely you'd want it to pass down so that people can keep this alive and keep doing it and keep creating and building, you know, and getting better and better as they go through.
Absolutely. You know, I'm coming near the end of my career, and I see there's a lot of young people with a lot of energy and with doing interesting things, and I'm all for passing on whatever I can. That intuitive thing that I was talking about, it's hard to pass that on, but you can pass on everything else that I know, and there's a lot that there is to learn to be able to do graphics.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
You mentioned then, like, the use of technology and how when you did decide to indulge yourself, you wish you'd done it a lot sooner. But how much has technology evolved since you first started using those tools?
I'm not a good person to be asking that of, because I'm not that knowledgeable about the technology. I mean, I learn what I need to know to do what I want to do, and that's about it. Because there's just so much out there to learn. If you wanted to delve into that thing, it's just like an endless and bottomless rabbit hole that you could start going down. Adobe Illustrator, which is my program of choice that I work with, has so much in it, and so much that I don't understand. But I just take the parts that I need, and I use those. And some people say, and I think it's true, probably when I was working in an analog mode, my work didn't change that much in its look from when I transitioned into digital. In fact, there are some pieces that I defy you to tell whether, you can't tell whether they were done digitally or just with pen and ink. I think that's something that I strive for, rather than to go for a look that everybody says, oh, they did that with a computer. I try to avoid that, because you can see that a lot in a lot of the graphics that are out now. I can tell what program they used and what filters they used and all that, but I just try to stay away from that.
That's a talent right there. Yeah. That is a talent right there. You know what I mean? If you can't tell how it was done. But I know you've probably talked about this to death, but as a keen sportsman, I'm kind of keen as to know the New York Knicks logo. Obviously, it's iconic now. Like, how did you approach that project? How did it even come about? Like, that must have been massive for you, being from New York. That must have been huge for you personally.
Oh yeah, of course. And it's like when you're starting out your career, and then if you have the opportunity to do something that's seen widely, it's like the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing I had like that was we had these books that the telephone company put out called the Yellow Pages.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had anything like that.
Yeah.
In and I worked on the cover. This was very early on in my career. I worked together with another illustrator, and we did this joint project of doing the cover for this Yellow Pages, which then was, when it came out, it was everywhere. We don't have phone booths in the streets now, but they were at phone booths were on every corner, and everyone had a Yellow Pages in it. So it's like, wow, I did that.
Yeah.
You see that? So the Knicks logo. I mean, I'm not your biggest sports fan.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm going to go to a baseball game, I'd just rather go to. I don't enjoy watching sports on TV.
Okay.
I won't do it. It's just kind of boring to me. But to go to an actual field, a baseball stadium or whatever, and it's just an incredible feeling, and I love that, just being there. And then you have the crowd energy and all that, and I love that. So I mean, I wasn't a big sports fan, but I certainly loved the fact that, like, all of a sudden everybody in New York was wearing a hat with the logo I designed on it.
Yeah.
That's got
or a jersey or whatever. But that was a really great project to work on, and I worked on it for, it seemed like months, because they had the budget to have me keep going and doing different iterations of or different designs. Let's try this, let's try that, so on. So I did a ton of ideas for them. And I should say, this is something that happened recently. There's this street apparel company called Kith, Kith. I don't know if you have those. I think there's one in London.
Name sounds familiar. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Anyway, they decided that they wanted me to take all those declined sketches that I had done initially for the Knicks, and there were maybe 15 or 20 of them, and they just had me develop them, because they were all good. They just weren't exactly what the Knicks wanted, but they were all good. And so coming out in a month or so is their fall collection of the street apparel, and they're using all those. I did for the first time all those finished logos that had never been finished for the Knicks, and they're putting them on their fall collection.
Incredible.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Free advertising. Love it. That is superb.
I was going to mention that you just said then there was like 15, 20 designs there. So in that, for them to be so many in that initial phase, was it like, we want a logo, so you can come up with, or did they give you like a proper brief that they wanted?
They didn't really. One of the things that they wanted from the get-go was to include a graphic of the Empire State Building in there, because that's a symbol of New York and so on. And but if you notice that there is no Empire State Building in the logo that we ended up doing. So what people say they want starting out sometimes morphs into something else.
Yeah. So Mr. Stevens is going to have to indulge me here, because you worked with my favorite band of all time since I was 2 years old, with Kiss. You worked on Rock and Roll Over and Sonic Boom. What was that like, especially so early in their career of Rock and Roll Over? Like, what was that process like?
Well, I treated it like any other project I had. At the time, that was around 71 or 72. No, I'm sorry. No, it was later than that. It was 76.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. Yeah, I couldn't have done, I wasn't even freelancing at 71. But I was not familiar with the group.
Okay.
Although, and it was pretty much an early point in their career, but Gene and Paul had a group before that.
Yes.
Oh Jesus, and which I did a logo for.
Wicked Lester.
But I didn't know I was working with them because I was just working directly with I think it was CBS Records, and they asked me to do this logo, and it was what was the name of that?
Wicked Lester.
Yes, it was Wicked Lester, and I did a logo for CBS Records for them, and I don't think they ever used it. But it was for Gene and Paul, and that was maybe 2 years before or a year before Kiss.
Wow.
So but that's just an aside that I only found out recently because I never made the connection and didn't know that it was those two guys.
I suppose they look a bit different then.
I never saw them then.
Yeah.
But the Rock and Roll Over was for, I actually was working with an agency that had them as or Howard, it was called Howard Marks Advertising, and they had I guess it was the management of Kiss as a client. And I had done some work with this agency, and nothing related to music, some of the things. But then the art director said, "Oh, we got this interesting project to do a record jacket for this new group. Are you interested?" So I said, "Sure." And then so we took a meeting, and I met with the group, and I really didn't know what they were about. Or they had really no specific direction that they wanted to take the cover. So I just thought, well, I guess the cover, I can just tell these 4 different stories of what, they're, what the spaceman, the cat, and so on, and just amplify those things, because they really, and just use the name Rock and Roll Over as just, it was very kind of obvious way to go, I thought. So I did a rough colored pencil sketch of this whole thing, and then we had another meeting, and they seemed to love it, except we had a couple little requests. There was a request from Gene. I guess he thought I made him look too much like the Joker, and
okay.
And from Paul, who wanted his, I guess he wanted a little bit more realistic rendering of his face. These were very kind of simplified, iconic, almost cartoonish renderings of their faces, which is all I was capable of doing, because I'm not really an illustrator. So I had to just find a path that I could represent them visually, that I was capable of doing. So we had a couple of those little requests, and then I just went to finish, and that was over, and that was the job, and I didn't really think much about it. It never occurred to me that this was going to be something that was going to haunt me for the rest of my life.
Sorry.
I had no idea. So like, I don't know, maybe 10 years later, I started getting people like contacting me. Like, I remember there was a group of young Japanese that came by the studio, and like, this was just so excited that they found the guy who did that cover. And that was my first inkling that this was not the usual job that I usually do, So, and then from there, like, till now, it's just like, it's just always been something that people are always asking me about. And I don't consider it like one of the best things I've ever done, but I know it's good. And somehow it's hard when you're kind of inside something like that. You have no perspective on it. And so you just take it for granted until somebody kind of like shakes you up and say, no, this is something that people really love. And so since then, I know the dean of art at the Cooper Union, which was my alma mater. He told me that when he got that cover as a kid, it was what caused him to want to pursue a career in art.
That's amazing.
So I've heard that a number of times, and it just kind of just kind of blows my mind.
And I'm not just saying this because we're talking today, but it is my favorite Kiss album cover, and I'm a huge Kiss fan, like I said. But I remember they did a show for MTV Unplugged, and like the floor of the stage was that album cover, and I was just like, God, I want that as like the flooring in my bathroom, my kitchen. But like, just give me that flooring now, please. It's incredible. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
But the thing with that logo as well is it's been parodied quite a lot. Like I know of another podcast, they've got their own version with their 4 phases. How do you feel about things like that when people parody your work in ways like, is it a compliment? Is it, I don't know, how do you feel about that?
In the book, I've collected a lot of those parodies, and earlier in my career, I might have been kind of angry about it or something. Oh, they're ripping me off, whatever. But I've since learned that I guess it's a form of flattery that wow, okay, I mean, it's not a threat to me in any way.
No.
Right? So I'm fine with it. I think it's silly, especially when some of the people that have done some of these have taken credit for them, oh, look at this, I did this. Isn't this great?
Yeah, I created one of the most iconic album covers. It's all me. No. but obviously we mentioned those. We have also got to talk about, I did mention my intro, your work with Disney. Like the incredible title treatments you've come up with for Wreck-It Ralph, Zootopia, or Zootropolis here in the UK, Moana, etc. How do you go about something like that? Because you obviously can't watch the movie. So how do you know what sort of vibe you're going for?
Well, first of all, I should qualify what you're saying. Wreck-It Ralph was used and promoted by Disney. The others that you've seen were not. I mean, when I'm working on things like this, a lot of times I go to the length of doing a piece of finished art. And so, but Disney, well, let me just say it like this. Wreck-It Ralph was the first thing I did when I started working with Disney.
Yeah.
And the art director I worked with, the creative director, who has since become a very good friend, he was always pushing me to do more, go crazy with this. Let's see your ideas. And we were really pushing the envelope with how that logo was done, the Wreck-It Ralph. Actually, it's called the title treatment for a movie logo. It was unlike anything Disney had ever done before. And I think it was almost like a mistake that they accepted that and they went with it. And I think they afterwards, I was doing some of those title treatments I did that were not used were really good. And they just got scared. They just kind of really wanted to pull back and go back to the way they usually did those title treatments, whether it's it's made of gold and it's kind of has a patina to it, and which is like most of the logos they do. There's nothing that interesting or creative about them, and I think they like it that way. But that was doing all that work with Disney that spanned I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 years of time, and working with that particular art director, his name is John Sable, was probably some of the best work I'd ever done, and whether or not it was used.
Yeah, like, I think it's the Zootopia one, especially. I saw like with the animals engraved into the, can't think of the word, I'm after the swirly bits. Tell I'm not an artist. Like the animals engraved into it's absolutely stunning. It really is.
Well, a lot of that, I was working with my wife, Laura Smith, she's an illustrator, and things like that we worked on together, because sometimes our work really kind of like fits together very well. So, yeah.
So we've talked about the New York Knicks, we've talked about Kiss, we've talked about Disney, which I believe Michael has covered in your brand new book, Growing Up in Alphabet City, which is out right now. What gave you the inspiration to put all of your work into this visual autobiography?
People had been telling me you need to do a book for the longest time, and I just, like I was saying before, when you're inside something, you have no perspective on it, and I'm inside my life, inside my work, and I just never thought that this was going to be something that I could put together. I've seen a lot of design books that I think are great, but I never could put it together in my head that my work could go into this book and be as good as any of these other books. I just couldn't see it, and I didn't want to do it. But I had all these friends who kept haranguing me over the years. You got to do this. You got to do this. If you don't do this, when you're gone, somebody else will. So it was 2015, and I decided I guess I should just go ahead and do this. And I found this group. It's called Letterform Archive. They're not a publisher per se, but they do publish books, but they're more like an educational institution and an archive. And they immediately said, we'll do this book. And so, but it's been like 9 years now. It's been the longest project I've ever had to work on, and it shouldn't have taken that long, but it did. But I'm quite happy with the result. And what was your question?
Why? Yeah, where the inspiration came from to actually bring it together and put all of your work into one visual autobiography.
It didn't start out being what it is now. I started doing this book as if it was going to be almost like a portfolio. But then the publisher kept saying, well, you got to bring more stories to this, bring more of your life into this. And so every time I would write a section of the book, and they would say, yes, maybe you need more of this and more of that, and bring this here. So then the book kind of transformed into this thing about, it's not really about my life per se, because there's so much I didn't put in it. But the things that pertain to that I felt I had to put in, I put in, and then the rest is all like stories around my career and things that happened in my studio, or happened, in the city around me, that forced me to do this, or how, like a weird story about a client that I worked with. And there's a lot of stories there. And I think that's what differentiates this book from a lot of other design books. It's kind of like sort of a biography, but sort of a coffee table design book at the same time.
I was going to say, it's like a coffee table because it's a big old book. Like, people are getting their money's worth.
Yeah, I don't know,
Yeah,
It's got here, let's see. It's got these kind of like a lot of these like 7 or 8 gatefolds.
No way.
Like double gatefolds where like I'm putting together all the sketches in sequence. Do you see how something came about? No, maybe it needed to take 9 years. I don't know. But it feels like 9 years.
What was it like going through like the archives to find all the artwork and things for the book? Were you like discovering things you forgot you did? You're like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. In fact, I had to look through my job book because I had a book that I recorded every job. You know, who's the client, who's, you know, how much I'm getting paid, did they pay, you know, and so on and so on. And I'm looking through this book and thinking, I'm listing every job that I worked on in my career. And what was that? I have no recollection. So this became an exercise in trying to remember things, you know, and did this happen before this? Which came first? What was the resolution of this? And so it took me a lot of time to just kind of put a timeline on this and figure out, you know, or I don't have a sample of this. I want to put this in the book. How do I find that? It just was just a lot of work, and it's just kind of pulling things from all different sources and trying to make some sort of coherent statement about the whole thing.
But we do also need to mention, because it's alphabet soup, you create your own fonts. That is incredible. Where did that idea come from?
It came from the fact that at a certain point in my career, all of a sudden work was slowing up. And, you know, a lot of illustrators were coming up with other ways of selling their work, whether it was selling posters or just whatever it was. Everybody was looking for a way to keep making a living. And I thought, well, I draw letters. I've never, I had done a font. There was one that I did early on, but it was something that I thought I could go back to and sell and keep an income flow going. And to some extent, it worked. But I didn't enjoy it in anywhere nearly as much as doing a job where I'm solving a problem and this is an image and I control it completely. But with fonts, it gets so technical. And I just get so bored with it and creating it, and it just to do it properly, it takes quite a bit of time to do a proper font. And I just lost the patience for it. So I've done about 10 different unique font designs and families, but I've got no desire to continue with that at this point. So I think whatever's there now I think that's going to be it.
So I know it sounds really daft, but I'd never really put the thought into it before that someone actually sits there and designs all these fonts. And I couldn't help but think, I bet the guy that designed Comic Sans gets so much abuse on a daily basis. But
well, I don't think he would mind, because if he's selling if he's such a popular font, he's made a fortune. If there was one person, yeah. So they're not gonna. Yeah. So what?
The amount of designers I've spoken to in the past, they go, fucking Comic Sans. I hate it.
Who knows, maybe one of my fonts is hated like that, but I haven't heard it.
But looking at the future, as we mentioned earlier, passing on knowledge, what's maybe like some advice you might give to young designers who want to start creating their own work and become the next Michael Doret, as it were?
My advice would be to not give too much importance to learning the technical aspects of like computer stuff.
Mm.
Learn the history of art. Learn the history of graphic design. You know, find the people that you look up to. Who are your heroes? You know, maybe a lot of people start out by emulating the work of their heroes in some way or other. I mean, I know a lot of there are quite a few designers who work in the realm that I work in that started after I did, that were looking to me and were kind of imitating some of the things I did until they found their own voice.
Mm.
So I would say it's good to learn all the technical aspects of it, but that's not going to stand you in good stead when you need to do something, create something interesting. You need to go beyond the capabilities of Photoshop or Illustrator, and you need to find your voice. Absolutely. I think that's the most important thing, and yeah, just don't rely on the technology to save you.
It's so important, like you say, having that voice and making things your own, because obviously was it last year or early this year, we had all the strikes and everything in Hollywood over AI. Like AI is such a big thing now, and especially affecting your work, like your world of work. Is that something that concerns you, looking at the future of graphic design?
I don't really know enough about AI to say that, and I'm not as concerned because I'm kind of near the end of my career. So whatever is going forward is going to happen is not going to affect me, but it's going to affect other people, and I don't know how the field is going to change because of that. I really have no idea, because I don't think anybody knows where it's all going.
That's the worrying part. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have Terminators in 10 years. So, Michael,
is it really?
I don't know. I was just being stupid. You know? How have you managed to stay so inspired and continue to push those boundaries of your work for after all these years of being in the industry?
I guess that's one of those questions that I don't know that there's an answer to. I just love what I do, what I did. If you know, right now, if I stopped working, I mean, I'd be fine. But I would miss, you know, doing the occasional really interesting job. I mean, I really kind of get off on solving a problem and making it all work.
Yeah.
And be able to satisfy the client, but also satisfy my own creative desires. And if I can make those two things come together, I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy about that.
Yeah, just do like a lectures or a school or something.
Oh yeah, I like to do like workshops.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I do like a presentation about my work and about how I got to where I am and so on. And I just did a presentation at my alma mater, Cooper Union in New York, where I did a demonstration of how I used to use all the drafting equipment, and actually, I also show it in the book, but in some of those gatefolds, you know, all the steps that I would go to create things. Yeah. But I actually did this in front of a live audience, and it was live streamed Yeah.
Love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
And people love that. People love to see a process. And how do you do these things? And so I was glad to be able to do that, although it was hard to be fielding questions and doing the work all at the same time.
You need extra hands. But that's one thing I really love about the book as well, is that you've got the process of how you got to where you got to the end. That makes sense, like the finished product, and it shows everything that you went through. It's just great. I think it's amazing, to be honest with you. And even though it took so long for you to complete, I bet it must feel like such an accomplishment just to have. I know it's not all of it, but majority of your work all there in one book for people to have a look at.
Well, it's not all of it, but it's a good cross section.
Yeah.
I mean, well, like any other job, there's going to be plenty of stuff that I don't want to ever show that to anybody. And I would say, if all my work was an iceberg, the part that's in the book is just the part that's tipping up above the water.
The best of the best.
But I also think it's incredible that you've got 5 Time magazine covers in the National Portrait Gallery in DC, which is that must be an accomplishment in itself.
Yeah.
Well, the whole Time magazine thing was like pretty incredible. I think of that as kind of the pinnacle of what I would hope for, more than the Knicks, more than the Kiss stuff. Time magazine was it for me. That was, and because Time magazine covers for Time magazine were considered at that time by illustrators to be the place to showcase your work on a worldwide scale. But the only one left that I can think of like that is the New Yorker magazine.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm naming these things, but I don't know how familiar you are with that in the UK.
We don't get them, but we know of them thanks to pop culture.
Yeah, and the internet, I'm sure.
Yeah. But I mean, getting 1 must have been massive. But to get 5,
I know. I sometimes I think, pinch me, because I can't believe that this happened.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and the thing is, when you're assigned one of those covers, at least I don't know how it's done now, but at that point, there was always 1 or 2 other people working on that same cover, other artists, because they needed to cover themselves in case something happened, or they might have a couple of different stories going on that they've assigned to artists, and so you never knew until the day that it was supposed to be on the newsstands if it actually ran or not.
Wow.
So literally you'd be at the newsstand, you go, I was chosen.
Oh,
that's nuts. Oh, the anxiety that would give me. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to know now. Incredible. Obviously we've discussed like some of our favorite works that you've done, but obviously you've done so much work. Is there anything we haven't talked about that really stands out to you as like, this is a piece I'm so proud of, like really stands out to you as an amazing piece you've done?
It's hard to single out any particular pieces. Well, there was the piece I did early on. It was a cover. This Japanese graphics magazine did an article about my work. This was very early on in my career. And I asked them, well, you're going to do this article. I would like to do the cover. And they had me do the cover, and I did this cover, and which if you saw it, you would realize that this was the precursor to Rock and Roll Over. It was because I used a very similar palette, and very similar type of imagery. And I think it's more successful than the Rock and Roll Over, but Rock and Roll, nobody who saw this Japanese graphics magazine. No. So, but I show it, and I show how it led to the Kiss cover.
I want to see it now.
Yeah.
Incredible. Before we start letting you get out of here, is there anything you're working on at the moment that you can talk about?
No, the last thing I did that I would talk about, I already talked about, was the taking what I had done for the Knicks logo and finishing them up for this apparel company. That was very exciting to be able to do, especially for something that I had done, what was 35 years ago.
Yeah,
to take sketches that I did then and think, because a lot of them I could have taken and said, well, you know what, I wouldn't do this like this now. But I just tried to pull myself back and just do it the way I would have done it then. And that was really kind of a challenge. I didn't want to change anything.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, same.
I can't either.
He's on the phone. You better send me one. Mr. Stevens, do you have any more questions for our wonderful guest?
I do. Michael, when you first started out, with this love of art and this career of yours, did you ever think that this is where you would be today?
No, it doesn't seem to be in American culture to think much about the future. I mean, everything here is about the here and now.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. I mean, I this career is something that I never planned. It's just kind of like you take a step, you get to a certain place, and then you go, oh, well, here I am. I guess I'll take another step, and that's the way it goes. And I didn't really plan any of this. I just kind of go with the flow, I guess. Is how I would put it.
Incredible.
And you've had an incredible career, and it's been an honor to hear your stories today. It really has. And to indulge me with bombarding you with Kiss questions. Before we let you get out of here, though, any plugs, social medias, websites, where can people find you, and where can people find the book?
Well, I'm not going to start rattling off a bunch of URLs. But maybe I could you could just print them at the end or something.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, that's all I could say.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan, my friend.
We massively appreciate it, Michael. Thank you so much for your time, for your just for being a wonderful human being. Thank you. We really appreciate it massively.
Yeah, really do.
This is really great, you guys.
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Michael. We really appreciate your time. So thank you so much. It was great listening to you and chatting to you. And enjoy Labor Day.
Okay. Thank you.
No wearing white tomorrow, apparently.
Not anymore.
Naive Brit, I don't know. Thank you so much, Michael.
Okay, take care.
Take care, sir. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Jamie Westwood, can we please just talk about this slam dunk announcement really quickly?
Yes, we can.
Holy mother of fucking sweet Jesus, God and Christ. That, just a day's remember headlining. That's what caught my eye straight away. And I was like, oh, I'm already there. I'm already at Hatfield Park right now waiting.
I had a feeling it was going to be
you, but I'm already there. I'm already there right now waiting.
Mentally, he's gone.
Wow.
That's a fucking strong lot. I had a feeling it was going to be them. Did you see the t-shirt they released?
No.
They released a t-shirt the other day and it had like the eagle thing on it, and it was very similar to the Data Remember one. I was like, ooh, maybe.
Oh, I didn't put two together. I just went, that's nice. That's really lovely, that. But I know you're Delilah Bond's on there, so I know straight away you're going to be jacking off.
Yes.
Alkaline Trio, Electric Callboy, fucking Newfound Glory, The Used, Neck Deep, Less Than Jake. Like, this is disgustingly delicious.
It's a fucking perfect slam. So many of them could headline. Like, that's nuts.
Yeah. Oh, ADTR. ADTR are going right at the top. You know it's going to be.
Oh, of course. I just mean
we're
generally.
going. We're getting press, and we're fucking going.
Yep.
Whether press like it or not, whether slam dunk like it or not, we are going to
fucking barge in.
Well, it's going to be there, mate. Like, oh my god! I literally was like, oh, I better just message Jamie. I'm just going to open social media really quickly because I just want to have a quick look at. Oh my! Get my dick in my hands. So yeah, that's going to sell out.
Oh yeah.
That's going to sell out immediately.
Yeah, that's going to sell out fast.
Tickets going to sell on Friday.
Yeah, that's done.
That's going to go. That's going to be like, bish bash bosh. Cheers. See you later.
North and south, one go, all gone. Can almost guarantee
disgusting.
it. Yeah.
It's going to be disgusting. That is unbelievable scenes. Anyway, sorry, I just had to get that off my chest because slam dunk. I mean, unbelievable. Let's tip. And so Bloodstock and slam dunk have both just gone. There's the ball. See you later.
Yeah,
out the park it goes. So then you wonder what a download going to do.
I was going to say,
what are 2000 Trees going to do? What is it going to be? The most gorgeous year of festivals you've ever seen?
I get the feeling. I do get the feeling. There's, seems to be something very magical in the air about next year for some reason.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree with you. So, James, thank you, Michael, as well, for being a wonderful guest this week. Jamie, why do people still get so confused by tickets?
in what sense?
When I was All In, the amount of people that went, J, J51. Well, it definitely says row J. And there's 51, 52, 53. Better ask a security guard. You're like, dude, it's right there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and then they can remind them, like, I think, are we in the right? Is this 104? Is this 104? Like, yeah, because you would have looked at the number at the side of the stairs and gone, 104 that. And then come down. Like, I don't understand how people get so confused by it still.
I wonder if it's like a social anxiety thing. I was like, I think I'm right. I know I'm right. Am I right?
Well, it was at Clash of the Castle in Cardiff. It happened there as well. Some guys were like, this is going to be amazing. These seats are great. And people turned up and they were like, excuse me, I think you're in my seats. And they were like, no, we're definitely not. It's like, yes, I think you are. And it turns out the people sat with us were in the wrong seats. And you're like, how did you get it wrong?
Thing is, not even just on a large scale. You find this in cinemas as well.
Yes. Yes.
H4 and 5, I believe. Okay, I'll sit here where it says I.
I'll sit in M2 and 4. We won't even sit together. We'll just sit apart. I can't stand you. I'm sick of the sight here. So I'll sit in M2 and you can sit in A46. That's as far away from me as fucking possible. I went to watch Dune with some of the boys from Cardiff Specsavers 3 years ago. And it was round. And we went up to our seats and there were loads of people just sat there. And we were like, can you move? And they were like, no, because it's our seats. Like, no, it's definitely. And I hate that as well. People are like, actually, I think you'll find. And then they're wrong. I love that moment. But it's just like, just show me your fucking ticket. And they were like, we don't know because we know we're in the right seats. Like, okay, you're definitely not. Then you've just jumped in and thought, yeah.
You just thought, if I say I'm right, they'll think that they're wrong. No, you're an idiot. That's what you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think, what happened to Wish? Is it now Temu?
That's a good point. No one mentions Wish anymore.
Do you reckon Wish just went, we're not doing very well, let's just change the whole branding name and everything else to sell more shit?
Yeah, it's mostly Temu and Shein now. People love a Shein shop.
But someone's called it Shein. People are calling it Shane. Like,
really?
What the fuck is it? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know these knockoff brands anymore. I have no clue. Absolutely no clue. But would you say that a £7.50 Temu fork is a good Valentine's Day gift?
Probably not, no.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so either. So, yeah, that really fucking made me laugh. Just going to leave it there. Just going to leave it at that, yeah. Who thinks that cutlery like to begin with.
Yeah.
And then from Timu is a great fucking idea with those shitty little quotes across it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Live, laugh, eat. Oh,
Yeah. You want a fork to my spoon? Like, Jesus Christ, man, you need to fucking chill out.
Shit, that
You
is
might as
fucking
well
bad.
have just gone out and bought some fucking bike wrenches or something. You might as well just done that. Like, fucking fork. Right.
I've never looked at someone I'm romantically involved in for cutlery. That's what I'm going to buy
Yeah.
to show my
Oh,
symbol of my
let's
love.
set a limit.
Cutlery.
Let's set a limit at £7.50. What can I get with that? Fuck, I gotta get a fork. Oh well, that's all right. It'll do. That'll show my love and appreciation.
And I've ordered it from Timu, so you might get it in time for next Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Yeah, and it might come with a load of random shit. It might even come, you might have to assemble it.
Probably.
Prong by prong.
It's this small.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for... What can I pick this up with? Petit pois? Is this a PE fork? Is this what this is for?
Why does the word petit pois amuse me every time you say it?
I don't know. It was because I've been watching our shows back to get some clips for social media. And then I remembered where I went on a massive rant about veg and then French veg out of nowhere. And that seems to be the only one we call. Why does not call it peas? It really made me laugh. It's in the list. Anyway, I had this random thought as well coming back from All In. I had this random thought because I saw car boot sale. And I thought, if someone's not from this country, they're going to get very confused by what that is. Because they might rock up and they're like, how many car boots have you got? No, that's not. No, we sell out of our car boot. Yeah, but I need some car boots. This is a car boot sale. Why are you not selling car boots? Because, to be honest with you, Jurgen, I don't really know, actually, to be honest with you. We just sell out of our car boot and decided, gosh, we got bored of the name, just thought that'll do. We can't think of anything clever to say, so it's called a car boot sale.
I was thinking this the other day, weirdly, like, because we had the discussion a couple of weeks ago about the differences in America and the UK, and I was like, what other weird things do they say and do and we say and do that might confuse each other? And that is so definitely a very British thing. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
what?
Man, I was going to say because the one that made me think of it was it was in some show and someone mentioned about balancing their checkbook, and I was like, "What the fuck does that even mean?" I literally have no idea what that means to balance your checkbook.
Balance the books, yeah. So they're obviously going like, have you got the scale, darling? Get the scales, I need to make sure my book's balanced so I can get to the bank and they'll accept it. What if for whatever reason? I don't know why would you balance it before? But they're going to walk in with their checkbooks like, oh shit.
You're not balanced, Mr. Smith. You're going to have to go to the back of the queue.
Yeah. I love the idea of somebody being like, hello, I need 4 car boots for my Vauxhall Vectra. Why do you need 4? I don't know. I just thought you sold car boots. I thought I'd at least have a spare. You have a spare tyre, don't you? Why can't I have a spare car boot?
Spare car.
That's such a dumb fucking name for it.
It really is.
So before I move on, and because I want to see how your weeks have been since we've been away for so long. Welcome to Story Time with Tom. So basically, I found this news article. Obviously, now this news article is now null and void because the Olympics are finished. However, it's an Olympic story, and I thought this was bullshit, and I thought that the comments were even more bullshit. Anyway,
okay.
I haven't got the comments because there were too many, and I don't want to be here for hours. Genuinely, this is in the Daily Fail, okay? And it says, angry swimming fans slam Ariane Titmus's yellow nails for claiming it gives her an unfair advantage. Because, you know, they have to touch the end to finish. They have to touch the wall, don't they? Yeah. Her fingernails, I'll send you the photo, are quite long. So they reckon it gives her an unfair advantage because her nails will touch first before her fingers do. And it's like, oh, yeah, because someone wants to swim up and use their fingernails against a brick fucking wall.
I was going to say, that would hurt like shit.
Yeah, exactly. How fucking dumb.
And plus, someone could just have longer reach than her.
Yeah.
Like, it's not an advantage.
It's so dumb, isn't it? It'd be like, yeah, because that's exactly what you want. Like, but I want the gold. Oh, man, I think she's an Australian. Oh my god, mate, my fucking hand's broken. Can't believe it. I thought I'd use my nails, to be honest with you, because they're longer than my fingers. So I thought it'd get there before they did by milliseconds. Yeah, like so fucking stupid.
I'll have to compete in breakdancing next year now.
Yeah. I'll use my legs. Rock above me. Fucking stupid. Like, how dumb. People will complain about anything these days.
Oh, yeah. Oh, anything at all. Especially if they
Unreal.
think that gives their team an unfair advantage or something. It's like, they're going to beat us now because her nails are a centimetre longer than the other one.
What if you scratch yourself when you're swimming? Like, oh. Is there an alligator attacking him? What's going on? What the fuck? Oh, this seems to be going after her. What? Like shredding your stomach because you're like, yeah. Nuts. Still,
Anyway.
Jamie, we've been away.
We have been away.
Well, sorry, you've been away. That meant we had to be away. How's your holiday?
It was very nice. We went away Monday evening because I had work. I couldn't get off work in the daytime, and came back Saturday evening. Saturday morning. Went to see the kids before work back on Sunday. So I got like 5 days away. It was just a nice little break, to be honest. Went down to my granddad's caravan in Dawlish. Did the usual seaside activities. Went to the beach, built sandcastles, played some mini golf, went swimming a couple of times. Nothing extraordinary. It was just nice to just get away and chill out for a bit, to be honest. I just needed to relax.
Didn't Olivia hate the golf last year?
The kid's weird with golf. Like 1 minute he'll play it and she's like, no, just throw it, aim for the best. And another time she's wicked. Like we played it twice last week. The first time she got 2 holes in 1. Like she was wicked. And then the second time I lost count. It was taking her that long. Like it was taking her that long to go. I was like, oh Jesus Christ, I'm so bored. So bless her.
Definitely 3.
Yeah, pretty much. I think after a while we just say 10. Fucking just say 10.
Picks up and puts it in the hole. There you go. 1.
Fucking nightmare. But in fairness to her, that second one we did was quite hard. I was like, this is hard for children. Isn't it? Dinosaur mini golf. Like, but there we are.
Would have to go over the Stegosaurus' spikes, like literally on like the pinpoint of the fucking.
Wicked. If only it was that fun.
That wouldn't be that. That would have been harder. Surely, well, Stegosaurus they have Stegosauri. I don't know. They have 2 fucking sets of spikes in the back, don't they? So maybe they should have one that goes up the head, like they should have it on the floor, like eating, and goes up and up through the spikes down the tail or something. I don't know.
That sounds amazing.
Maybe I should have helped Phil with his fucking
cool,
golf course shit he was talking about for work when we were at Bloodstock.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
But no, there's one of them like you had to hit it hard enough to go over this ramp, otherwise it just went into water. All 3 of us went straight in the water. So we had to try and dig the fucker out of the water to carry on playing. Like it was pretty hard.
Becky walks out with a driver. 4! There you go, you fucking prick. I've cleared it now, haven't I?
The whole golf course.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The whole of Dawlish. Fucking the Daily Fail comes out with another man in Bristol hit by ball.
Bristol, fucking hell, that was a hell of a shot.
That's what I'm saying. That's what makes it funny, Jamie.
Yes, right? I know.
It wouldn't have been funny if I'd said Exeter or you know what I mean? I don't know, or fucking Kent. Wrong way. The wind carried it. The wind carried it. That's what happened there.
And we also, obviously, because we've interviewed quite a few puppeteers on this show, we also saw 2 Punch and Judy shows, which I forget how great Punch and Judy is.
I've never seen it.
Really? Oh, it's brilliant. It's so old school. It's great.
Yeah.
It's like every character sounds the exact fucking same. It's like Punch just hits everyone with a stick. It's just great. It's just really fun and stupid.
Okay. I love the idea of them being like, I've done this for 40 years. I can't be fucked to do voices anymore. They all sound like me. All right. But it's Punch. It's Judy. By the way, why is it there? Yeah, fuck, I can't be bothered.
It's like Punch is just squeaks. That's it. But Judy talks and it sounds like the guy doing it. And the policeman turns up and it sounds like the guy doing it. I was like, put some effort into the voices. Try and keep some magic alive for the kids.
Hey,
it's like, nah.
People still turn up. No, I know. Kids will give a shit. They'll just be like, and
they
staring.
were loving it. Yeah, they were loving it, cracking up laughing. It just made me laugh. It was like, hello, my name's Judy.
Yeah. Well, I smoke 40 a day. I get absolutely no exercise. Don't go out of the house. Don't go out of the house apart from when I do this.
So funny.
It's my day job, this. My fucking day job. I'm sick of you fucking twatting me with that stick, you prick.
Today, he did go to prison for hitting Judy with a stick. So it's fair.
Was it the story? I don't know the story, so
it changes every time. But one of
them, am I so uneducated that I'm
one of them
so
had the fucking devil in it. Like,
just not cultured at all. It's so weird. I'm glad you had a good time there, man.
But
I'm glad you had a good time.
Nice.
Bit of R&R, obviously, because I didn't fucking realise at all in any way, shape, or form but doing 2 festivals and doing almost 100 interviews, and then you manage to edit all of them and get them all out in a space of 2 weeks for Trees and 1 week for Bloodstock is like, wow.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I just go, we'll talk, we'll interview, and I don't actually think, because I don't do any of the editing because you're very precious and good at it. And it's just one of those things where it's just like, oh shit, actually, there's a lot more that goes into this than just talking to people.
Yeah. By the end of it, and I think it actually was when I realised just how many it was in total. My brain just went, I need a break now. I'm dead now.
So we apologise for having some time off, but I think Jamie fucking needed it, to be quite honest with you.
But by the end of the week, when I knew we had interviews coming up and recording, I was like, let's go. So it did what it needed to do. So
yeah, good. I think just summer season tends to be, but we're going to Slam Dunk. We're going to interview every fucking band when we get there, mate. If I get to talk to Jeremy McKinnon, if we actually get in and I get to talk to each member, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself.
Probably cry.
I don't think I'd cry. I think I would after.
Look at my chest. That's how much I love you.
I'd probably be like, in the moment be like, in one of those things, I'd be like, boom, 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 boom. And I'm going to get there, be like, yes, hello, how are you doing? Yes, absolutely. Too funny. Story. It's like, have a wonderful set later. They'll leave, and I'll be like, just, it'd be unreal. Like that's dream guest for me. So
no, I know it is. That'd be incredible.
Sorry, Jeremy, you had 7 other interviews today, but you seem to have been here for 2 hours. Yeah, I'm so sorry about that, guys. Apologies. I just can't shut up.
That guy tied me to a chair and made me talk to him for 7 hours.
Jeremy's in the fucking Enrique Iglesias video. Please let me go now. I was like, okay. I'm Enrique. Would you tremble if I touched your lips? I don't know how to touch them. Let me just use my thumbs. It's not that obsessive, I swear. But I'm glad you had a good time, my friend. I'm glad you had a great time away. You got a much needed hour and a half. How were the kids?
They're brilliant. Yeah, they're great. We went to a soft played trampolini place, which was good fun. I forget, like the following day, I woke up and like my abs, that area was hurting like shit. I was like, fucking hell, I was only bouncing on a trampoline. How unfit am I?
Your
Jesus
core.
Christ. That's the word I was after.
Yeah.
Core. Thank you. Not abs.
This ab.
Yeah, it's one round ab.
This singular ab that I possess.
It's in there somewhere.
Anyway, I think we should break this up.
Go for it.
Time for Callum's Treachings.
Do you want to know something? Callum will be able to tell you in Callum's Treachings.
Is cereal soup?
Ooh.
Hello, this week's Treachings come from the set of my own podcast, That Gym Couple Podcast, that I host with my partner Lucy, where we discuss all things gyms, fitness, gym anxiety, and a bunch of other stuff in between. If you do have the opportunity to come and check us out at That Gym Couple Podcast on Spotify and YouTube, we'd very much appreciate it.
It's Jamie's favourite segment of the week. Jamie?
Yes.
What is Callum Treachings this week?
Most superheroes couldn't eat fast enough to maintain their caloric needs.
Oh, you can tell he works in a gym, can't you?
I love the idea of Thor being like throwing his hammer and be like, see the sandwich while wait for Milner to come back. It's like, then he starts fighting again.
Just holds his hand out while he's waiting to eat a sandwich with the other one.
Or they have, and then Iron Man's got a cap, not Iron Man, Captain America's got a cap on with those tubes that go into his mouth, you know what I mean? With like yogurts on the side or something.
Fairness though, he's right. Only at the end of the Avengers did you ever actually see them eating a meal. Like, they just don't, do they?
No. But it'd be very funny. Yeah, absolutely. It'd be very different movies if that was the case.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Mind you, you see Thor eating fucking loads. Are you all right?
Yeah, I was just crying from laughing.
Oh, okay. I thought you were warm. It is very warm in this fucking room, I tell you. Just the humidity's been disgusting. My brain's gone now. I imagine Hulk just goes like, eats the people. Oh, no, he's beating the shit out of him. Do you know what I mean? Because he's massive. So Hulk, I don't think would ever stop eating, surely, to maintain that figure.
No, I don't think he would. No, he's just constantly eating everything.
We need Hulk smash, where is he? Where's Hulk? We need him for smashing shit. He's just there like... Just can't ever stop eating because it just like processes and metabolizes it so quickly that it's just like, for fuck's sake.
Hulk smash plate of food.
Yeah, never ends. Just smashes the plate. That'd be fucking hilarious. But yeah, I just imagine everyone would just be eating us fighting at the same time. It'd be fucking brilliant.
I'd love that. Just to make a superhero so much funnier. Just eating and
what their
punching the shit out
workouts be like? Yeah, what would their workouts be like?
God, a lot of lifting going on.
Thor's fingers.
Effortless for him, isn't it?
Yeah, 200k. Like, nothing. Why am I Daniel Bryan all of a sudden? What's going on here?
Am I the God of Thunder? Yes.
But Jamie, what else is Callum teaching us this week?
There are blind people with photographic memories that wouldn't have any idea.
Oh my God. Can you laugh? Can we make fun of this? Like,
I've never been so torn in my life because it's probably a really good point, and it probably does happen.
Never been so Natalie Imbruglia, Devon.
Oh, I'm so Natalie Imbruglia.
Imbruglia? Who's Imbruglia?
Let's change it.
Imbruglia?
Imbruglia. Imbruglia don't sound right. Imbruglia does.
It's
I don't know. I'm
Natalie.
Natalie. Yeah, I know, but Natalie Imbruglia doesn't sound right.
No, I know. It's Imbruglia. That's it.
I know, but
why are you changing the
because I'm
surname?
not turning into Natalie Imbruglia.
You
I'm
are, 'cause you're tall.
being her. Oh, don't. Let's move on.
I want to see how my kids are going. Yeah. Photographic memory. Yeah, but you wouldn't know, so you wouldn't be disappointed, would you? You wouldn't know that you had a photographic memory. I mean, I'd feel for the people that weren't blind originally, then became blind, and then obviously only had them. Like, that must be so fucking tough.
Yeah, it must suck. Like, especially because no doubt the things that you think you remember, I've heard this before, actually doesn't look anything like you think it does because it's been so long. Because it's been so long since you've actually seen it, and your memory doesn't hold things great, does it?
No, I'd much rather be blind than deaf, though. I could not listen to music.
Yeah, that would drive me mad.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like I'd rather hear than see.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like one of those like it's shit either way situations, isn't it? It's like
well, exactly. But if I had to pick, that's what I'd do.
I think I'd probably be with you, to be honest. But at the same time, I wouldn't have to hear people bullshit all the time.
Is that a personal matter, Jamie?
I'm just thinking life in general.
Oh, I was going to say, are you sure you want to bring this to the table right now?
But I will say I'm married. No.
Yeah, I'd think that would be awful. But then they wouldn't know, would they? So how could they know they had photographic memory, even though... But it's a good point. It's a really good point. It's not something... I'm not going to take the look out of it because I just don't feel it appropriate, no. But... Yeah, I think it'd be worse. So it makes sense. It makes sense when obviously I see people at work and they come in and they've got like macular degeneration or glaucoma or stuff, and their sight's going and how scared they are. It's just, it's heartbreaking to see. It's really heartbreaking to see. So unless it was some sort of power, do you reckon if it had some sort of power, they actually can see, but only in their mind? That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? If they're like, because they could touch stuff, can't they? And that, because they could touch stuff, and it's almost like they could sense what it might look like, sort of thing.
I've heard that. Like, I know they do it to the extremes in Daredevil, but I've heard that blind people do have some sort of extra sight.
Because obviously we can see, so obviously like the third eye thing. So obviously that we can see. So I don't think we would experience it as much because we already know what shit looks like. But I imagine if you were blind and you touch things, maybe you could sense the I don't know, energy levels or vibrations from it or whatever that, you know, and it's enhanced and heightened because you can't actually see anything anyway. So maybe it forms a picture. And that's why they touch faces and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, it's quite fascinating when you think about it. It's one of those ones I wonder what it's like, but I don't want to be blind to find out.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I'm 1,000,000% with you there.
Yeah.
Anyway, finally, Jamie, what is Callum teaching us this glorious week?
Peeing in a urinal feels normal, but peeing in a stall with the door open just seems a bit weird.
I think if you were sat down just staring outwards, yeah.
I could say for you it'd be extra weird.
Oh yeah, just having a wee, sorry about that. It'd be even weird if someone then came up in front of you to piss into the urinal as well, just staring at you like, oh mate.
Open your legs a bit.
So there's no left. We're just have to share. We'll have to share. Yeah.
Oh God, that'd be so weird.
Please don't miss. Please don't miss. I do feel, though, after our conversation about the rims of toilets and stuff, that some guys do go to urinal, turn around and shoot outwards. Yeah, because fuck me is all I can say in public areas and public toilets. But I don't know, because I do panic sometimes that someone's going to walk in, because I sometimes it's the store door open because I can't. It's waste time to. This sounds ridiculous. To then walk in, turn around, shut the door, lock it. The lock tends to be fucked anyway. So you're like rattling it for ages. Then you get worried you get stuck in. You go, bollocks to it, can't be asked. I might as well just carry on. So I just tend to walk in and just I don't have a backpack on though. So I think it's like obvious that I'm in there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
I get completely what you mean. But it does have a point though, because you will walk into a cubicle and you'll be like, I should lock the door. I'm in a cubicle.
But it's weird because if you're at a urinal, people tend to be like, oh, mate, and talk to you. Whereas in a store, they won't. So surely I thought it'd be the other way around. But urinals are so common and we do it all the time. Do you know what I mean?
I've never understood the camaraderie of the urinals.
That's pretty decent there, mate. Pretty decent, that.
It's weird. I can't bring myself to walk up to a dude at urinal and go, oh, mate, having a nice piss? Like, no, it's private time. Weird. No.
We're all pissing together, lads. We're all pissing together.
Hey, lads, I'm all pissing together.
Who can get it the highest? Up the wall. Who can stand back the furthest? And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, women live longer than men.
Yeah, pretty much, because that is a thing that happens.
Yeah, we're just everything's a competition because we just think it's funny.
Yeah, pretty much.
The amount of shit I've seen. But anyway, Callum, it's a pleasure to have you back.
Oh,
pleasure.
It really is.
Absolutely wonderful. We love that segment. But yeah, obviously I'm in the process of moving out at the moment. This is our last recording from this building. I'm literally leaving in an hour and a half. So it's kind of odd just looking out and there's like nothing on the floor anymore. There's like
so
nothing here.
Everything's gone.
Bar all my podcasts and shit.
Yeah.
And the furniture that belongs to them, everything's gone.
Wow.
It's really weird. I can't believe how fast 7 months goes by.
In 7 months you've been there?
It's been February 1st I moved here.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? You're just like, wow, that's gone by. But yes, obviously since been away, I've been to AEW All In at London. That was unreal. Bumped into Morgan Richards of Saturn podcast. We had a nice little chin wag. But I took Martin with me. Bless him, he's going through a bit of a time at the moment. Love you, mate. Hope you're okay. And we drove down to London and we went and got a Macca's. And then I was meant to meet up with Ethan Lawrence, former guest of the show. But sadly, the more people that turned up, the less and less and less signals decided to signals dissipated and disappeared. So I never got to see him in the end. I think I got his message from 3:30 at like 7 o'clock when I went for a piss. And I was like, oh, well, the show's restarted now. So here we are. But I did get to hang out with John Mahan of Kerrang and the John Mahan show. We had he met us at Mackey's and we just walked around, chilled out. We got to chat to loads of people. It was really funny because he got stopped a few times. Oh my God, John! Oh, we love you! And it's like, so they went to John and were like, hope that they did turn to me and Martin and go, ah. So anyway, John, there's this like. Because they obviously thought we were other people. That was so funny. So fucking funny. So we were like, yeah? Oh, then? Yeah.
Yeah. That one guy, she's like, oh my God, the Chronicles of podcast.
Yeah, that never happened.
Never happened.
No, never. Soon, my friend. Soon. We can dream. But it was great. We were just walking around, had a few drinks, and then we went to go see, is it What Culture podcast? Yes. And we got to the bar. And John was about to walk in, and the security guard just went in front and he went, you all right, mate? And John's like, yeah. He's like, are you all right? He's like, yeah. Like, can we come in? He's like, you got tickets? Like, oh, is it a ticket event? Is it? We didn't know. There's the lack of people that are here. And he was like, ticketed event, mate. If you want a drink, you can go in. And John's like, no, all right, cheers. He's like, if you want to go to the bar, well, hang on a minute, we couldn't come in a second ago. So, yeah, John's like, don't worry about it, mate, it's fine. And we just walked off.
Wow, what a dick.
Yeah. There was another podcast that we saw as well, Cultaholic.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, they were hanging out in the box park. So he was chatting to them for a bit. When Tate Mayfairs and Ed Dennis started fighting around the bar. It was just about atmosphere was unreal. And then to get to watch my hero completely swerve everyone on Swerve and win the fucking AEW Championship was just. Oh, I literally can't describe it. The near kickouts, I think I fell on Martin about twice. I was losing my fucking mind. It was amazing. It was it was indescribable, to be honest with you. The whole show from start to finish was incredible. Ricochet's debut, Nigel McGuinness coming back, Jamie Hayter returning. It was disgustingly good.
Yeah, it was incredible. I watched it back and it was absolutely the Nigel McGuinness one got me more than anything because I went to Nigel McGuinness's tour he did years ago where he showed his documentary and did the Q&A stuff. So to hear him talking about how much he didn't want to retire but had to and stuff like that and his missed opportunity to then have that moment, that was fucking beautiful.
I have never heard an ovation like it.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
I think the decibels must have gone over a jet engine at least. It was so loud. So imagine that feeling you must have got walking out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
No one saw that coming.
No.
And I think that's the beauty with the internet now that can spoil so much for you that no one knew that was coming was, Tony Khan, we salute and bow to you, sir. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The show was the only really awkward bit was Martha Hart's speech.
Oh, I didn't see that.
On the pre-show.
I was on the pre-show. I didn't
when she came out, she was like, good luck to the champions and the challengers. Have a good fight. And you're like, oh. Yeah, she said a few more things to me and Martin going like, this is so weird. And she kept chanting for Canada and we all booed her. And Tony Khan's like going, what
did she expect?
I know. I think she got booed 3 times and Tony's going, fucking, can we not?
She's can't even Canada in the fucking UK. What does she expect?
But then she went, but we're all part of the Commonwealth. And she fucking shit herself. So good. So good. But other than one match, the card was just beautiful. Taz getting involved was absolutely amazing. But the TBS title match...
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah,
I mentally switched off during that. I got bored.
Yeah, we were just deathly quiet.
Yeah, it was not a good match.
I feel for Britt though, having to go through that, but no one cares for Mercedes. No one gives a shit.
Which is weird because she was so popular in WWE, but I think because she was away for so long, people just stopped giving a shit.
And she's terrible on the microphone. So I don't think that helps. But All In, start to finish, was just great. And I got to hang out with Martin and I got to hang out with John, and it was just so good. I cannot literally describe how fucking good that was. But other than that, she's been a lot of Rihanna and obviously moving more than anything else. So I'm just in a 6-day stretch of work and I'm fucked. So I'll be happy to get fully out of here. Then I can come back and just clean it, and then I can stop stressing. Moving, but the one thing I hate more than anything is limbo.
Yeah.
So but it'll be fine. We've done some wonderful interviews. Obviously, we had Ronnie on 2 weeks ago, and you just had Michael today. So new chapters, new beginnings, my friend. I'm very excited for what's to come. I'll be honest.
Good. So you should be. The future's bright, my friend.
Yes, absolutely. And then obviously just been trying to find clips and stuff for here. So other than that, my friend, I don't think there's a lot else to really fill you in on.
Amazing. Well, I did do a couple things which I didn't get to mention, which I will bring up.
Oh, okay.
Well, first off, there was something that happened on holiday, and I completely forgot to mention it earlier. I got fucking attacked. I got mugged by a seagull. Bastard thing. I was so disappointed. We left the golf, having beautiful weather. I was like, let's have some ice cream. Coconut chocolate chip cookie ice cream. Get in my face.
Oh, the seagull can have it.
Literally paid for it, walked, we were just about to cross the road, and then it went over my head, twatted me in the arm of its wing, and stole the entire ice cream minus about that much cone. And then about 15 of them are fighting over this ice cream in the middle of the street. I was in shock for a minute. I was like, what the fuck just happened? And Becky was like, I saw it happen, but it was in slow motion and I couldn't stop it. It's like, first off, it's a seagull. What the fuck are you going to do? And I literally, like a child, had the rest of the cone of hand. You might as well have this too, and threw it at them in the street.
I love the idea of Becky getting angry and it all of a sudden becomes Mortal Kombat. She's her against a seagull. Round one, fight. And this thing was like rough, rolling its wings up with tattoos everywhere. Like, fucking come on then. I'm full of coconut chocolate chip ice cream now. Oh, actually, I'm going to be sick. This coconut's fucking disgusting.
Look off you. Although, don't get me wrong, if as it was going above my head, if she had turned around in slow motion, just punched it as it was going over my, that would have been the greatest moment ever.
It would. And then I imagine you'd be like, yes, dear, whatever you want, dear. Of course, dear.
You saved my ice cream, I love
whatever you need. Yeah, whatever you want. That's fine. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, of course we could do that. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. I'm just going to stay at the floor.
Oh, but no. Other than that as well, obviously, while you were at All In, I was representing the Sophie Lancaster Foundation
at
Unity Festival in Birmingham, and it was a great event. It was 3 days full of bands, music. And I'm not just saying this because we're recording it. There wasn't a single bad band on the entire lineup. Like, I didn't listen to any of them going in, other than the ones I knew. I was like, let's have a nice surprise on the day. Enjoyed every single band. They were all great. All said lovely things about the foundation. Like, plenty of merch was brought. Like, it was just an absolute incredible moment. Got to see our friends in Broken Jaw, Second Cities, the Mighty Wraith. I discovered bands I absolutely fucking love now. It was just a brilliant weekend. It really was. Tooth and Dagger. I knew there was another one I was missing. Tooth and Dagger. But again, absolutely incredible. It really was. I got to do 2 speeches. Jackie, the woman organizer, got me to go up and have a speech. Did make me laugh. On the final day, I did a speech and I mentioned like how we became affiliated with the foundation, how we interviewed Sylvia, and I was like, my co-host Tom, he's not with us today because he's all in London. The whole room went, so you got booed by a whole room in Birmingham for being all in.
It's right.
It's fine. But no, it was brilliant. I even got to draw a raffle. I've never felt so British in my life. It was great.
How was the first speech? You said that people were laughing.
Yeah, I got a few laughs and stuff like that. Becky recorded the second one for me because obviously she wasn't there for the first one. So, no, it was really good weekend. Broken Jaw always entertained me. I think Nutsy has more energy than any man I've ever seen in my room when he's on stage. He just came up to me at one point and he was just singing a song while he had his arm around me behind the desk. It was great. No, absolutely brilliant weekend. Massive thank you to Jackie for putting that on and for inviting me to come take part for the foundation. Really great weekend.
Good. What'd you raise?
I took £973.
That's amazing.
Over 3 days. So yeah,
thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm still waiting for the figures to come from the whole event for what they raise with ticket sales. But I think Jackie said she reckons it's just over 800. So pretty good figure for a weekend.
That's decent. Cannot go wrong with that at all.
And not at all. Really good weekend.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Braden from Say We Can Fly. Just letting you know, got a brand new merch store out there.
Please let me say the link. Let me say the link, please.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yes, you can say the link. Yes, all right. Okay. So the link for the shop.
So the link for the shop is www.saywecanfly.shop.
All right, good job, Seamus. So www.saywecanfly.shop. 10% off if you use the code.
Let me say the code, please.
Okay, fine. You can say the code. If you use the code.
The code is The Chronicles.
What? No, it's not.
The Chronicles.
No, it's not. It's The Chronicles, Seamus.
Yeah, that's what I said.
The Chronicles at checkout, all right? You get 10% off.
10% off?
Yes, they know. They know, Seamus. Okay?
I'm just trying to help, all right?
Visit www.saywecanfly.shop and use code The Chronicles for 10% off your order. Available at participating Say We Can Fly restaurants and web stores. Some restrictions may apply, but probably not.
Well, shall we?
Now we shall.
It's time for Tom's Journal.
Ooh.
And welcome to another edition of Tom's Journal. So, do you remember as a child when you would knock on someone's door and run away?
Ah, yes.
What did you call it?
Knock door run. Nice and simple.
Knock door run. Lad Bible have published an article called People Divided Over a Real Name of Game where you knock on someone's door and run away. Somebody wrote this. Never felt the disgust in my life of being Scottish and calling it chappy.
What?
But having my English boyfriend reveal, he calls it Nicky Knocky Nine Doors. What in the Charles Dickens shite is that?
Doors. I've heard cherry knocking and I've heard knock door run. I've never heard either of the other two.
Knock door ginger, I think was the one as well.
Tell a lie? Yes, I think I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Nicky Knocky Nine Door.
Fucking terrible name.
What does that even mean?
Whereabouts in the England do they fucking call it that shit?
I know. It sounds like a very Yorkshire thing. I don't know why. My head's just saying Yorkshire.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, going up to play that fucking Nicky knocking down doors. Jamie,
Yeah.
do you ever wonder if Spanish people sit about and watching shows called A Place in the Pissing Rain? That's got you, hasn't it? That one's got you there. You can't even hear you. That's how much it's got you.
Oh, fuck me. That is beautiful. Especially because the amount of people from Britain that are like, I'm going to go move to Spain where it's sunny. The idea of the Spanish going, it's the pissing rain.
That's why I get so confused when people want to move here. Like, why? It's fucking shit.
I know. Oh.
Do you know what? I really fucking hate ordering from Starbucks because it's always like, "Hi, can I get a mango bing bong ice sprinkle banjo drink with 2 shots of Hyundai Tuscan, please?"
The worrying part is, I wouldn't be surprised if that was a fucking order.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. The amount of shit we get. I wonder what's going to be like in like 50 years. It's going to be absolutely mental.
That's what makes me laugh being a tea drinker because it's like everyone else is like all these special things for coffee. And I was like, could I have a tea bag in some hot water, please?
I just have a latte. Do you want any flavour in that? No, I just want a latte. What milk would you like? Milk, please.
Cow milk.
Yeah, just from straight from the cow's tit, please. If that's okay. This is a massive risky move. How to get your girlfriend's attention. Hey, babe, what was that show your dad was telling us about? You know, the time travel one. Oh, my ex stopped by work today. Why? What does she want? Well, she wanted to know what that show your dad was saying was about was called.
That is very fucking risky and also very intelligent. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't do it myself, but still. No way. You are going to fucking love this, and I imagine you're going to start doing it. And if you do, please don't tell me. Married people, how do you initiate sex with your partner? I use my phone's torch to shine a shadow of my boner up against the bedroom wall. Kind of like a bat signal of sorts. I wish I hadn't fucked it. I tripped over my words at the punchline as well. God damn it.
I've never done it, but fuck me, am I tempted to now?
Yeah, please don't tell me if you do. That'd be absolutely grand.
I'll send you a video. No.
Please don't. Not another one anyway. This way, it's just like you're just tapping it very quietly in the dark room. Jane, please stop doing that. Me.
Oh.
Hi there. Can I please get a Pepsi? Waiter, is Pepsi a... Oh my God. Starts crying. Me, smile through tears. Yeah, I know. We kiss. Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, that's got to have happened at some point. Not necessarily the kissing bit, but no.
This I found really weird. I just was intrigued by it. Have thought loads on this day. Somebody's written a list of top 10 animals I want to smoke weed with. All right.
Where else will I go in? Okay.
Number 1, a duck. Number 2, my childhood dog Rizzo needs to her opinions on the fam. Was I her favourite, etc.? Number 3, a New York City seagull, because why are you here? Like, go to a real beach, sister. 4, a fox. Sneaky little guys. Number 5, a hammerhead shark. Doesn't know its face looks like that. Number 6, a pufferfish. Bong hits would be insane.
Fair, yeah.
7, a cow. Probably so chill. 8, a sea turtle. Total stoner vibes.
Yep.
9, an elephant. I need to see smoke come out of its trunk.
Fair.
And then, weirdly, number 10, Stuart Little.
tiny would that joint have to be?
No explanation.
No explanation for that one. And you can guarantee the person wrote that while high as balls.
Oh, yes. So.
I like that.
What the fuck is this woman on the bus reading? Let me read it to you. So this woman's reading. So someone's taken a photo of somebody reading a book on the bus.
Okay.
At the passing of such an iconic hero, I look back down at the gorgeous face of my deceased love. The tears from my eyes merged with the rain and sprinkled his still, warm lips. I shut my eyes, placed a single caring kiss on his black, furry forehead. My name is Gary Splitter, and this is the story of how I fell in love with a handsome gorilla and how our love was maturely cut short.
What?
Weird.
What the fuck?
So fucking weird.
What the actual fuck?
Jamie.
Yeah. You know.
It's all right. Let's move on. I'm so tired. I could eat a horse. Well, I identify as a horse, and this offends me. Well, I identify as a fence, and this horses me. I offend horses. Identify me. I think the main question here is, why would you eat a horse if you were tired?
That was the first thing that came into my head. Why would you eat a horse if you were tired? And then you kept going.
So weird. People just fucking at them. A stone's throw is worth two in the bush. I was drinking a beer, and this bartender yelled, "Anyone know CPR?" I replied, "I know the entire alphabet." Everyone laughed. Well, except for this one guy.
Oh, this journal is on fire this week.
I think I'm about to butcher it with the final entry.
Oh, God.
I think I'm massively about to butcher this.
Should I get the scraper out?
I think you might have to. Taylor Swift.
Oh, God.
Another year, another album. Here's 31 more songs. George R.R. Martin. Yeah, but he writes actual stories, like not middle school teen angst. No, he writes middle ages teen angst.
Yes, he fucking does.
And that was another edition of Tom's Journal.
Fucking glorious journal this week. That was brilliant.
I thank you. Thank you.
I could barely compose myself after that. I offend horses, identify me.
It's about getting into schools and talking to young people because, you know, I know that people can change. And it's about talking to people and getting them to understand and perhaps step back from violence and prejudice and whatever. And we just need to work together and keep on the good fight there.
Absolutely.
Hey there guys, we are ecstatically happy to announce that we are associated with the Sophie Lancaster Foundation.
The times are changing, and with the unfortunate death of Sophie, those changes have made a massive impact for the future. If Sophie was with us still today, I can guarantee what you are doing will still be reaching so many lives of young teenagers, young adults, and those who wish to be as different as possible. So thank you very much.
To find out more about this incredible foundation and all the work they do, and more importantly, how you can help, head on over to www.sophielancasterfoundation.com.
Mr. Stevens. Mr. Stevens! Dun-dun-dun, 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 dun-dun-dun.
Oh.
Mr. Stevens. Mr. Stevens. Mr. Stevens.
Triple H's theme song.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Took me a second. I have this. All the things Jamie said, running through my head. All the things he said, running through my head. All the things Jamie said. This is Jamie's challenge.
Just for that. Oh, it's audience participation. Participation time. It's audience participation. Participation time. It's really hard to sing.
Participate, bitch, participate. Participate, bitch, participate, participate, participate. This is not enough. Jay, me?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to participate in Jamie's participation challenge.
This week, I said, audience participation challenge. Very mindful, very demure, whatever the fuck that means. This week, we're asking, what current Gen Z phrase or word confuses you the most? What say you, Mr. Stevens?
Every single one?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's got so much riz. He's so Len. I am not gassed about this. It's peak. What? Sorry, I have absolutely no idea what you've just said to me. So,
yeah.
What about you?
Leng is definitely one of them. I don't understand that at all. Peak, another one like you just said. Yeah, there's many. There's a video on TikTok of this guy going through a drive-through and ordering like how his daughters talk. They're dying of embarrassment, but I literally don't understand a single word he says.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, it's the most confusing video in the history of the world. But fair play to him.
Yeah, soon we'll get to that point where it's going to look at young people and be like, what did you just say?
You already said that.
Maybe Starbucks started it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Bastards.
We're going to start this off with my daughter, Lena Westwood. This made me laugh so much because she's classed it as something young people say, but I'm pretty certain our generation said this, so the fact she's confused makes it even funnier. Just a bit of banter. What does it mean?
Yeah.
We've been saying that for years.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And the fact our slang confuses the young kids. Brilliant. But anyway, our friend Jude from Acid Age just replies with a meme, and it sums it all up nicely. No cap, this drip bussing for FR. Yes, a random string of nonsense to you too, good sir. Yeah. So no
FR's
cap.
for real, isn't it?
Yeah. So no cap, this drip bussing for real. Okay. So no lie. What's drip? Is that clothing? I think I've heard that referred to clothing.
I have no idea.
No lie, these clothes are great. Yes, they are. I think. I don't know. I can't translate.
Oh,
confuses me. The wife, Becky Westwood, sums it up pretty much how we did. All of them. Yeah, all of them. Makes no sense whatsoever.
Nope.
Your dad, Darren Stevens. Just Gen Z. Although I was corrected, apparently, on TikTok, someone corrected me. Apparently, it's actually called Gen Alpha now. I thought it was Gen Z. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. It's confusing.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
No, nor me. Lizzie Edwards. Not so much confuse me, but if my kids keep calling me bro instead of mom, I'm getting really worried.
Yeah, my niece does that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or mate. Or lad. I think lad's one of them as well.
Oh. Every now and again, Olivia, when she's shocked, she'll go, bro. I'm like, what are you doing? Please stop doing that now. No.
Too much YouTube, mate. That's what it is.
Pretty much. Dan Bate says demure. I see it everywhere now. And not even in the correct context.
So what is it?
I don't know. I just keep seeing videos of people saying it's very mindful and very demure, whatever they're doing.
Is this our version when we start to try and get cosmic into the English language every time?
Cosmic? I forgot about that. And an epic was a thing as well. Oh, that's epic.
Yeah, I used to love that. I used to love that word. And mint.
Mint, yeah. Phil Jolly, without wishing to sound old, like the old fogey that I clearly am, I can't really understand anything they say anymore, so I'm unable to pick out any particular phrases or words. Yeah, pretty much sums us all up nicely. John Johnston, again, I thought this one went back to like our generation. I don't like saying it, but I know a lot of people. Sick.
Yeah, that's more us, I think.
Yeah, but I've never understood why we call good things sick.
I use it a lot, so.
Yeah, I know. I've just never got on board with that one. Don't know that one.
I feel that's like the end now. There's no more for me now. That's like where I've peaked, yeah.
You peaked.
I've peaked, yeah.
Alison Louise. Leng means you're fit, apparently. Is that what it means?
That's my mum.
It is.
Yes, that is my mother.
Why does your mum know it?
Because my 14-year-old sister.
Ah, of course. I forgot you've got a young sister. Simon Bonehill, slay means you've done something really well, apparently. It's just weird.
I only use that at my colleague Nikita when she's putting her lip balm or gloss on at work every morning and she looks at her hair. And I just walk in, if I see her doing it, I go, yes, girl, slay! Yes, queen!
I was going to slay queen. Yeah, that's the thing I've heard.
Just because it's funny.
Dave Maricavecchio?
Marcavecchio.
Oh, so close. Delulu, because it's the same amount of syllables, and deluded only one letter shorter. Inefficient slang irritates me for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just use the normal word.
Yeah, just use the word delusional. Deluded, rather. Nick Palmer. FWU. FWU. Had to Urban Dictionary after it popped up in a group chat. I have Urban Dictionaryed it because I had no idea what this means. And FWU is an abbreviation of fuckwit us. Not with, wit. Fuckwit us, meaning hit us up or mess with us. It could also be used as what you gon' do about it.
Okay. You can tell how old we are. Look how stressed we're getting.
Bexado on Instagram. She just makes me want to cry with this one. I don't even know how you pronounce it. Chuggy? Cheugy. Never heard this before in my life. Also had to go and look it up. Which it's it's actually quite appropriate for this. Chuggy is a slang term used to describe something or someone who is outdated.
Yeah, that's us.
Yeah. Trying too hard to be trendy or lacking in style and originality. So
that's not us.
It's not us.
That's
But the
not
beginning
us.
bit, it's definitely us because we're fucking outdated.
We're not outdated. We're just grown up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Paul Bamford. But I tell a lie. Paul Bamford and Amy Macy, they both give us the same one. I'm going to do this as the last one because it's fucking brilliant. I will wet you. Which apparently means it's trying to sound scary there, kiddo, but it just sounds like you're being pervy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Paul adds, it sounds like bedroom talk until suddenly a shotgun comes out. Yeah.
Is it where you get stabbed?
I think so.
Because you get wet, yeah. I think as a comedian, Emmanuel, I can't remember his surname, huge black dude, used to work for the company I used to work for as a podcaster. He's a comedian and he talks about it because he used to be a bouncer.
Oh,
and that's how I know what it is. It means that to get stabbed, basically. So you get wet because you're bleeding.
Ah. At least there's some rhyme or reason behind it. I mean, it's still
dumb.
A complete shit.
It's dumb.
But at least there's a reason for it.
If you're going to stab me, just say, I'm going to stab you. Don't say, I will wet you. Like, oh,
sounds like you're going to piss on them, to be honest.
Yeah, or ejaculate. I don't know. It's just a bit grim. And I never thought, it's weird because as adults, you never think you're going to get to that point where you have no idea what they say anymore. So we're now at that point where you're like, you're not cool, man. You don't understand what we're talking about. We're now those people that don't understand what the fuck they're talking about.
I've had 2 instances in the past week where I felt old as fuck. And this audience participation was one of them.
Why'd you put it out there?
Because I was just intrigued.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But we appreciate everybody that participates in Jamie's challenge. And so thank you very much. And if you enjoy Jamie's challenge, Tom's journal, Callum's preachings, the wonderful interviews we seem to bring you on the weekly basis, and are they still at that again? Are they still going? Why? Then you enjoy the other 140 editions of the Chronicles of Podcast, wherever you get your podcast from, whether Spotify, Google, Apple, Good Pods, Podbean, wherever you listen to us, wherever you enjoy us, wherever you consume us, we're everywhere. So, but the main point of contact for us is if you want to come and follow us on social media at TCO Pod. That's on social media at TCO Pod, or come to YouTube. Please subscribe. Please hit that bell to get notified reviews are released and comment your heart's content. And that's at the Chronicles of Podcast. That's YouTube at the Chronicles of Podcast, or social media at TCO Pod. And I've just got a vague feeling at this time, look at now, that Jamie's got something to say.
Yeah, I do. Before we get out of it, I need to say thank you to a few of our friends, because every single piece of music you heard on today's show was brought to you by one man, and that is the wonderful singer-songwriter, Matt Roberts. Go check out all of his music on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your music from. Follow him on those social medias at Matt Roberts Music. Give him a follow and tell him we said hi. And of course, I say a massive thank you to Mr. Braden Barry and his saywecannfly.shop. Head on over to saywecannfly.shop, see what you like the look of, add it to your basket, and get that discount code in the Chronicles to get 10% off your order. And while you're there, go check out his brand new clothing line, Anxious Ghost, because there's some beautiful things on there too for you to get. And of course, you have to say a massive thank you to the Sophie Lancaster Foundation. They're stamping out prejudice, hatred, and intolerance everywhere. And I mean everywhere. This is not a UK issue. This is a global issue where people of the alternative community are being treated differently just because of the music they listen to and the clothes they wear. We've had an incredible time over the summer chatting to people in this community about how they've been treated because of being part of this community. It's eye-opening. It's alarming to see it still happening today. So please help us, help them to stamp it out once and for all. Go follow them on social medias, the Sophie Lancaster Foundation. Go to the website, sophielancasterfoundation.com, and familiarise yourself with Sophie's story. And last but not least, I'll try that one again. And last but not least, a massive thank you to my beautiful co-host over there.
Thanks, Jamie. Right back at you. Kawaii. Is it kawaii? Is it? I don't know. I don't speak Japanese, so I have no idea. But appreciate you. Another great edition in the bag.
Another great edition indeed, my friend.
Wonderful. We bloody love this. And we're back. There's no more weeks off this year now. So apart from Christmas, obviously. Well, there'll be a Christmas episode, but you know what I mean. As for this week. Oh no, before I end, Michael, thank you so much for joining us. We massively appreciate your time and your very busy schedule. And we hope that you enjoyed it as much as we did speaking to you. So thank you so much for joining us. And as for this week, we'll see you all next week for the Chronicles of Kid Bookie.
Goodbye, everybody.
Ta-ta! Bye!